right. Oh my God, this is very exciting for me because, you know, I haven't felt this passionate about a project in a while. Um, I draw a lot, I create a lot. I've created more decks than I've officially published. Like I have a bunch of them on Make Playing Cards, which are super valid, but the really, really, really special ones that make me emotional inside, those I want to do Kickstarters for. And this is definitely one of them. The Carry Me Home Oracle, there's this whole story. I was actually writing it down for the guidebook because I, love having everything done before a Kickstarter starts. Like how this deck came to be, because this sort of started as I might even still have that here, me not being prepared. Am I gonna go look for every little thing that I'm not gonna be able to find? Only if it's readily available. Yes, it is. So I started this deck as a sort of round tarot deck. Some of you may have seen this. It's cute, and maybe one day it'll be, I'll put it on Make Playing Cards, but it never ever felt like the way it was supposed to be, Look, here we have our guy. It never felt like a whole deck. It never felt good. And then, shit, I keep forgetting his name. He's a brilliant artist. He did this. I have it behind me. Let me grab it. Once again, me being unprepared. Yes, a really good artist, Mike Wilcox. He did a tarot and oracle, which is funny because it was not a full deck, but it was sort of a majors only deck mixed in with like a shit ton of oracle cards, like a lot. And I thought, wow, that's so interesting because not everything always needs to be a full tarot deck, how cool would it be to make a really big major arcana, an expanded major arcana? So I sort of started toying with that idea. Some of the illustrations from that, tarot deck that I made a while ago, a year ago to this date, actually. Some of those came up. Some images were new, and it was a very organic way of collaging and creating. So it was not, normally I'm very much about planning all the suits, planning the structures, planning everything, making everything really balanced, blah, 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 blah. This is the first time that I did not do that at all. This was completely free flow, which makes it extra scary and vulnerable for me. So I made this, and sorry, I know most of you just want to see the fucking cards, but I really want to get my point across because this is, it's really special to me. I have a reason why I want this out in the world. Because I wanted something that looked sort of modern and that would appeal to men. Obviously anyone can use this, but I really wanted a new age self-help, self-reflection deck for men that, might be used in men's groups, yoga groups, stuff like that. Coaching, man on man coaching or body work sessions, something that men would get. And because lots of men don't use these tools, and I think that they should, because lots of men don't work on themselves mentally, they only work on themselves physically. This is a generalization, but the facts don't lie. Most suicides are men. Men need help. When we talk about the divine masculine needing healing in the new age space, what we actually mean is not that there's anything wrong with men, but that the masculine energy needs to be rebalanced. We live in a patriarchal society, and there are lots of people that are doing really well in that patriarchy, and a lot of people that aren't. So yeah, if I can add something to the Tarot and Oracle workspace, it would be, this, an accessible tool that is readily available and able to be used by anyone, but, that is specifically geared towards men supporting each other. Which brings me to the name, because the deck was done at one point, but I didn't have a name. And I was like, I already did Brother to Brother Oracle, Arcane Warrior Oracle, Tarot. What the hell do I do now? And I was at the Gay Pride Parade in Cologne, Germany. And there I felt so immensely carried. It was insane. It literally made me emotional. I felt carried in my masculinity. I felt carried in my femininity. So I was like, okay, I need to use that word, that feeling, the feeling of being carried. So I kept that, locked that away in a little drawer in my mind. And then I came home and I used a Dutch deck by Catalina Filippo. It's called the Lemurian Light cards. And the card that I pulled was called Family of Light. And the subtext, the subtitles or the keywords on the card said things along the lines of kindred spirits and you are being carried. So that's when I came up with the name Carry Me Home Oracle. For anyone that needs to, that needs to be seen, heard, because you are. So let's dive into the structure of the deck. I'm going to be starting to go through the major arcana, the standard one first. There's going to be 44 cards. There's only 42 cards here. The last 2 cards will be revealed once the Kickstarter is here. So we begin with the Divine Wanderer. Is this a major arcana verbatim, very Golden Dawn-esque? No, it is my own twist. Every card has a title and some keywords, a key phrase. Sometimes they have a question, sometimes it's just one word, sometimes it's an affirmation. It's different for every card. Once again, this was very free flow. What I wrote down what I felt needed to be written down. So yeah, we've been looking at this one for a long time, so that can go. But look at those backs. It's stunning. The Maverick instead of the Magician. I love this image. He's so dope. And, I love incorporating some cool sacred geometry around, here and there, everywhere. It's very much inspired by Danielle Noel's decks that she did for Rebecca Campbell. So the Maverick, be your eccentric self, strut confidently. And then we have the Mystic. Trust your gut. If it's not 100% a yes, it's a no. I love that. Like a rose, open up to receiving bounty. I love that. The Cosmic Brotherhood. Where could your life do with some stability? This is about, us carrying each other in our brotherhood. The Sage, share knowledge, ritual, and sacred practices. I love that. I love the way this one turned out. So fucking stunning. Oh, this one is a fave as well. I love it. Kindred spirits, look for connections, stimulating your authenticity. Get Wild, Starchild is, my chariot. Which aspect of your life deserves some wildness? I love that too. Lionheart, what makes you radiate confidence and strength? For strength. Truly turning inward, where could your life do with stillness? Love that. Cosmic Flow, when was the last time your stars aligned? Stunning image as well. I'm tooting my own horn here. I know I should stop doing that, but I'm just really enthusiastic about this. Archangel Michael, receive protection, embody the sword of justice. Love, 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 love. Archangel Metatron, allow your frequency to shift. Akashic Records. So I love, I love working with angels. I love working with archangels. And I found out that, I was kind of like, I had already made these archangel cards, and then they work themselves into the major arcana. So I loved that. Into the Void, Death. It's truly over, time to say goodbye. Love the way this turned out, by the way. It looks really amazing. Chakra Love, which gears need turning in order to align self. I love working with and thinking about my chakras, and I feel like it's literal art, alchemy, temperance within the self. So that's why I decided this needed to be this card. Stunning. The Charmer, Spellbind, Seduce, Bewitch, and Snare. So it's a different kind of devil. It's not so much about that big bad that's outside of yourself, but it's about the devil as in yourself. So I do love a little bit of that. Break the Chain for the Tower. Release, cord cutting, what once was mine. I love that. Archangel Raphael for the Star. Be mindful of health, body, mind, and spirit. Very much about cleansing. We got the snake imagery. I had a really cool caduceus, but I found it to be a bit too on the nose, so I decided to use it like this. And I love how everything has this sort of galactic, ethereal vibe. Visit Radiant Realms. Follow the light. Stick to the path. Don't be afraid. Stunning. For the moon, obviously. Dolphin Spirit for the sun. Allow joy and harmony into your heart space. I love him. Archangel Gabriel for judgment, because he actually is the angel that is in the judgment card. Express yourself brazenly, level up. And then the world, or the cosmos, everything and nothing, the end and the beginning. And then we're headed into our oracle, so the rest of the deck. We have the Devotion card, which I really adore. Be of service, true commitment, giving it your all. The Guardian of Light card, protect your shine, raise the vibe, flow to grow. Archangel Uriel, let your wisdom light up the world. It's so funny, guys. I love playing cards, but whenever I order their standard finish, it's more matte. It's what the people like. But it always scratches so easily, and whenever I use their shiny glossy finish, it always comes in pristine. So I'm never ever doing their make playing cards finish ever again, unless it's on linen. Archangel Uriel, let your wisdom light up the world. I loved how this illustration turned out. The colors really pop, so that's amazing. The sensual self, I feel like this is such an important part in healing the divine masculine, because with men and among men and even in the gay community, it's very much always about the sexual self. But, I love to focus a little bit on sensuality. This was a ton of work because this was actually a black and white photo, and to get it to look this dynamic and shiny was such a challenge, but it was so cool. Oh, love it. Of this Earth. This card went through many iterations, and I love the way it turned out. Where do you see opportunities to ground? Sacred portals, multiple realities, experiences, and truths. I find this a very important topic to put into a deck, especially in this day and age where everything is so polarized, because there are always multiple realities, experiences, and truths. There is not one, whenever I see the discourse on the social medias, it's always so one-dimensional. No, there are multiple realities, experiences, and truths, and it's really interesting to think about those. This one I already changed because I didn't like what was behind the guy in the dream world, so I did change that already, but the concept of the card remains the same. It's about the subconscious, the tip of the iceberg, and about the things unseen, which I do like. And I love this portal that I created myself. I think it looks fab. Obviously, I wanted to have a yes and a no card in here. The yes card is, yes, this is meant for you. The no card says, no, this is not meant for you. Oh, and I love the way the design of the no card turned out. I almost wanted to use that as a box cover, but I don't think that's good juju, so let's not do it. But the Sacred Waters, I love the element of water. It's, and it has lots of, because it has, I love water as an allegory for the divine feminine and the divine masculine. As water can cleanse and purify and soften, but it can also engulf and destroy and crush, and stunning. This honestly is like my dream deck. I wish I could go to a store right now and pick this up mass market. And I really wish publishers would open up to, at least a deck like this. I've been trying to sell deck ideas left, right, and center, but it's such a tough market right now, and the market for men in this is so small. So that's also why, good for you guys to know, that this is only going to be a 200 copy print run. It's going to be very limited, because of that reason. I don't want to take the gamble anymore, and have a ton of stock sitting at my place. I don't have the space for it. So if you want a deck like this in great indie quality, because obviously this is just a test print, the real deck will have a this test print comes in a random ass chuck box. The real version will come in a nice 2-piece box. It will have a nice coating. It will come with a nice guidebook. So yeah. This one, the deepest desire. What do you yearn for? I'm writing the guidebook right now, and sometimes I can't explain why certain elements are in the card, but it's just that the cards happened very organically. So usually I found a cool background or a cool guy or a cool element, and I started building, and then a meaning arose. It wasn't until like I was like 80% through the whole project that I started noticing that there was a major arcana in there. Funny, right? So I love how that turned out. This is sort of my Eight of Cups card. All that's left behind, moving away from situations no longer serving you. Love the way this turned out. Entering the cave, no turning back, kind of a hero's journey element in the deck as well. The forest spirits, obviously, like maybe I'm a little bit more about the woo than most men, but I love the forest spirits, the spirits of the forest. I spend most of my day, whenever I'm free, in the forest, because I love it there. And there are so many beneficial spirits and deities in there for you. And you can go to the forest to ask for help. You can lay your wishes down. This is also about using the forest as a place to maybe cry or talk about subjects that are taboo within your community or within your family, to sort of let it all hang out, and then also be aware of the fact that nothing in the forest ever comes for free. There's always an exchange. So I had to put that on there. This was one of my absolute favorite designs, the Supernova Warrior. I was inspired to do this card because of a deck by Maeve. It's called the Mystic Midnight Oracle. I'm going to be putting that in the guidebook as well, because I wanted someone to embody the supernova. And the supernova basically means, has an allegorical symbolic meaning that whenever there is a supernova, it represents that anything is possible. So be a trailblazer. And I think I symbolize that very well. Eagle spirit, really hunky guy. You will find some animal spirits in this deck that I personally resonate with or love. This was such a great one. Oh, I love the way this turned out. This is definitely a contender for the box art. I will put this one aside because I have some questions about that. The Scribe, I used one of my sigils in this deck because I wanted a card about sigils, because sigils, glyphs, codes, download, signs, I feel like a lot of men are allowed to be more aware of these signs and about the power of sigils. So I hope that whenever this card arises in a reading somewhere in some men's group, that this will be a subject that they will talk about. But also, the scribe himself, you know, the writer, the one who records, journaling, all of that stuff. So the guidebook will have, you know, your regular bit of guidance, but then there will also be some activities, I think. I'm still toying with some ideas, but the poet, wear your sensitive heart on your sleeve. So funny, this guy was not in this collage arrangement, but this guy was a supernova warrior at first. And then I almost scrapped that whole card, and in the end he became the poet. And I think he has this sort of wonderful Kurt Cobain vibe, which I adore. And then last but not least, for the cards that I have now, the whale spirit. Navigate through frequencies and healing sounds. Because I find listening to whale noises extremely soothing. And the whale spirit is also another contender for box cover art. Now, I would like to know, if you were me, but I'm going to run a poll in the Kickstarter campaign page as well. Which of these would you choose? I feel like this, color-wise as well, represents the deck as a whole a bit more. This right here is so poppin'. So which one would you choose? I'm kind of curious about that. Thank you for watching this long-ass video, but, you know, I'm just really proud of what I did here, and thanks for watching, and I hope you guys back the deck. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.